to our live session today, which is a workshop on the 3 big no-nos of styling your photos. So jump in the comments, say hi, let me know if you are excited to be here. So my name is Tracy and I'm a visual content expert. I help product-based business owners to create show-stopping content by taking standout product photos which increase their engagement and their sales. Okay, so Isha, great to see that you are here. Welcome. Now, if you guys do see me looking around a little bit, I have got a couple of screens up. That is just why I'm looking around. But other than that, I am completely here. I'm not distracted, just looking around at my different screens. Now we have, oh hello Michael, Isha, you are super keen, can't wait to soak in the information. And Brandon, I'm guessing that's you commenting on Tracy Jones Photography. Great to see you both here. So my next question for you all is, have you signed up for this workshop? What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link for that in the comments now, just in case you haven't signed up. But by signing up, what you do, you actually get access to the slides and the replay of this event. So that link to sign up is now in the comments for you. And let's move on and start getting started. So I'm just going to share my screen so that you can see my where's it gone? See my see my presentation. There we go. You can see all that now. Brandon, hello. Good to see you here as well. Okay, so 3 big no-nos of styling your photos. So why are you here? What are your motivations? Jump in the comments again. Tell me what your motivations are for being here today. So I think you can all agree that the current economic climate has forced a lot of us to reconsider our income options, whether we are self-employed or working for somebody else. We are finding ourselves having to think more laterally and competitively about our business. Whether we are seasoned online sellers or new to the industry, one important fact remains: image is everything. If we cannot attract the right attention, it just becomes an uphill battle to convert clicks to sales. So that is one good reason why you need to be here, why you're here today, and that could be your reason is to increase your sales. So if that is the reason, just let me know in the comments. Isha, I would love to know how to improve the quality of my product photos without having to pay for a professional photographer. Molly, great to see you here as well. I want to learn how to improve my product photos for my website. Perfect. And Jessica, great to see you here as well. So those are some great reasons. But how do we get that? So I've got a few ways here that you can actually get those results from today's workshop that you're hoping to get. The first is to pay attention. So give this presentation 100% of your attention. Put everything else away, put your phone on silent, mute your notifications, close all your other tabs, make sure that you are giving this 100% attention. The next one is to ask questions. So don't be scared, okay? I'm here to help you. If you have any questions about any of the content that we are covering today, drop them in the comments and I will answer you as soon as I can. Also, I'm going to be asking you questions throughout this presentation, so I want you to actually answer those questions, which you guys are doing a great job of doing that right now. But the reasons I'm asking you to do that is because actually answering my questions will help you to remember the content that we are covering. But it also helps me to help you. So I know that if you are keeping up with everything that I'm saying, I know what you need help with. So the next one is to take notes. So if you haven't got a notebook, go and grab one. The reason for this is that writing down helps you to remember stuff, and you can also come back to these notes later without having to watch the whole video again. Then also the last point on this is don't give up. Okay, there is a lot of content that we're covering today. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but I just want you to remember that this is important to you. This is your business, your dream. So if something confuses you, or if something seems hard or scary, tell me about it. Okay, I'm here to help you guys. So let me just check my comments. Jessica, I want to learn how to take beautiful pics for my web and socials. Perfect. Great reason for being here. So, by the end of this workshop, you will know what the 3 biggest mistakes are that people make when they're taking product photos, and what those mistakes are in regards to styling. And I'm also going to give you a heap of tips to make sure that you are not making those mistakes again in the future. So why are images important? Can you think of any reasons why images are important? If you can, drop them in the comments for me. Now, whether it's on your social media post or on your Etsy store, the images you use are your shop window. So if you had a physical store, you would want the window to look the best in the street. But the window is what makes people stop, contemplate, and brings people into the store. Yeah? And online, your window has to do exactly the same thing. Your images need to catch attention, they need to stop scrollers and boost engagement. And the best bit about having a stunning shop window is that algorithms love interaction, and therefore will put your images in the spotlight and share them with more people. So all of this leads to more eyes on your product, which in turn leads to more sales. Okay, Isha, it's visually appealing. Yeah, Sandy, shows what you're selling. Yes, shows what you're selling. Isha, and it's the first thing people see is like a window into your own store. Exactly. And Chrissy, they are the first thing people see. Yes, exactly. You guys are getting this perfectly right. Yes, image is everything. Image that sells. Yes, Jessica. Perfect. Great answers, guys. Thank you for all of those answers. So let's just have a little bit of a deeper dive into this. So this is a screenshot of a store page on Etsy. I'm not going to name and shame them, but can you tell me why this is a bad example? Have you got any ideas why this is a bad example? I'll just have a sip of my drink whilst I'm waiting for you guys to answer that. Okay, so first reason why this is a bad shop window. Every photo here has a different background, so no consistency. Brandon, we've got some answers coming in. Pics are cut off. Yes, that is one of the reasons. Yes. Molly, no consistency. Isha, the product isn't highlighted. Colors seem to be clashing. And Chrissy, it's random. Yes, exactly. These are all great reasons. Brandon, another one, not the best angles and lighting. Yes, exactly. These are all great answers coming in. Mike, cropping is off. Yes, perfect. Great answers. So yes, my first point on this was every photo has a different background, so there is no consistency between these photos. And then with the exception of the earrings in the bottom left corner, I'm not really sure what the product is that I'm looking at. And it's a little bit confusing. So if any of you are actually looking at this and having the same opinion as me of what are some of these products, the main thing, so all the products along the top row there and the last 2 photos on the bottom row, they are actually headbands. So you can put them on your head, but it's not shown as a headband, especially with someone holding it in their hands. And yeah, earrings and a hair comb clip thing that you put in your hair as well. So it's hard to tell without actually doing a little bit more research into what the products are. It's kind of hard to actually tell what these products are. Now, I just put myself over there. Sorry guys, I just realised you can't see me, so I've just brought myself over for you. So the next thing is that nothing on this page is actually making me want to buy. And they are committing at least 2 of the big no-nos of styling your photos. So can you guess what 2 of those big no-nos are that they are committing? And whilst you're guessing that, I'll just show you a good shot window. Now, why do you think that this is better? So, first of all, we have the same white background. Lighting, Isha, no, that's not a big no-no of styling your photos. We're talking about styling here, not lighting. Lighting is a different part of photography, but yes, on that bad example, the lighting wasn't great either. But today we are talking about styling, so styling is how we lay things out in the image for anyone that is still a little bit unclear on that. So here we have the good shot window, and everything is on the same white background. So there's consistency through the photos. You can clearly see the product. There's nothing's been cropped off that we need to see in the product like it was in the last slide. And I would actually consider buying something from this slide just because of how well it is presented. And then they're not committing any of the 3 big no-nos of styling your photos either. So, comments coming in. Molly, you can actually see the products. Yes, exactly. Isha, right, I see. That's why I need to be educated on this. Yes, perfect. Exactly why you are here, Isha. Chrissy, good shop. You can tell what they are selling. Exactly. And Sandy, background bad. Yes, that will be the last photo. You may be a few minutes behind us, Sandy, but that is fine. Okay, so let's actually jump into the mistakes that you make, the 3 big no-nos. So no-no or mistake number 1 is too many props. So are you constantly looking for props to pair with your products? If you are, just drop a yes or no in answer to that question for me in the comments, just so I know what stage you are at with taking your photos. So having too many props is the number 1 mistake I see people make when styling their photos. Why is this a mistake? Well, too many props can be confusing. It can make it hard for the customer to work out what the product is, and all the props just take the attention away from the product. But why you want the product to stand out, you want it to be the star of the show. Therefore, if you do use props, they have to enhance the product and add something to the image. A good way to think of it is have your product as the superhero and the prop is the sidekick. So like Batman and Robin. Then also remember that empty space in an image is not a bad thing. It can actually be very effective in making the product stand out, and then also leave space for you to add text or a logo later on when you're sharing it on your social or on your website. Okay, so comments, Isha, distracting, and Molly, no, I have almost none. Well, that's a good thing, Molly. You're actually in a good place if you don't use many props. So well done for not committing that mistake. Let's have a look at some examples of good and bad prop photos. So here we have the same product styled in 2 ways. In the bad example, we have 4 props. So we have the blue flowers, the candle lid, the box of matches, and a leaf. Now remember, the key thing to ask when thinking about using a prop is, what does this add to the image? I'm going to say that again. What does this prop add to the image? Now, can you guys come up with any ways that these 4 props here, so the blue flowers, the matches, the candle lid, and the leaf, can you think of any ways that these props add something to the image? If you can, write it in the comments for me. If you can't think of anything, just write the word no. Now, all of these props do actually relate to the candle, but in a very loose way, and it's not really clear how they actually fit in. So, the blue flowers are there because the scent of the candle is floral. But these flowers are not water lilies or lotus flowers, so they don't really fit. The candle lid is, of course, part of the product, but it's not an important part, and therefore it doesn't need to be shown. You would use the matches to light the candle, but we don't really need reminding of that, do we? And Molly, you've just commented the matches add context, kind of. Yes, exactly, like they add that context of something that we're going to use to light the candle, but as I said, we don't really need reminding of that. And then the leaf could represent nature and therefore natural ingredients used in the making of the candle. But that connection is really weak, as there's actually no leaves or anything in the candle at all. So nature and leaves is a really weak connection, but it is a very slight connection. So now if we have a look at the right photo, it's a lot cleaner, and I've actually only used 1 prop in this image. The prop I've used is a vase, which you can actually see in the top left corner of the image. This vase is set back from the candle and it's out of focus, so it's blurry, and most of it is cropped out of the photo. This means that it's not taking any attention away from the product. And the vase is relevant because it is something that you would often see sitting next to a candle on, say, a mantelpiece or a side table, as it is here. Also, the way that it has been used is great because it helps to balance out the image. We have the white sheet in the top right corner, and the vase is of similar colour and taking up pretty much the same amount of space of the image as that bit of white sheet is. So it's helping to create balance across the image by having that same colour covering the same corner and covering the same amount of that corner. So remember, only add a prop if it is giving something to the image and it has a strong relationship with the product. So has this all made sense? If it has, drop the word props in the comments for me, just so I know that you are following along. Sip of tea and let's move on. So, mistake number 2 is using hands. So, again, drop in the comments a hands up emoji if you use hands in your images. Hands. Oh, Brandon, just read your comment. What about having a backdrop of a pond with the candle sitting on an actual water lily? Yes, that is an option that you could do for that. That would work really well. Unfortunately, I don't have a pond nearby with water lilies in it, so that may not be an option. Also, I'm not sure how you would actually get the candle to sit on the water lily without sinking into the pond. So that is an option. It's a little bit more of a technical shoot because there's gonna be issues in that, but definitely an idea that we could explore later on. Thank you. Okay, Chrissy and Sandy, perfect. You are following along. Okay, so again, give me a hands up emoji if you are using hands in your images. Hands seem to be everywhere in product photos at the moment. It seems to be a trend to use hands in your photos to help show the size of a product. Yes, hands are one way that you can show the size of your product, but it's not always the best. As with props, you need to consider the purpose of the hand. What is it doing? How does it relate to your product? The next thing to think about is the hand itself. Not everyone can be a hand model. You need to have good skin and good nails. The hand needs to be of an average size and needs to look comfortable holding the product. The best shot may not always be the most comfortable position for the hand model to be in. And the hand has to stay still for the shoot, so no shaky hands allowed. Hands would be great for skincare or beauty products. Yes, beauty ad products. Yes, exactly. It really does depend on the product that you are using. Hands would be great for skincare and beauty products, but if you're not selling skincare or beauty, then they're not probably going to fit with your product. Okay, so again, let's look at some example photos. In the bad photo here, the hand is holding the product, but it's holding it in a way that the product can't really be seen. The product isn't best lit in this image, and you can't necessarily see it that clearly. It also doesn't look natural. You wouldn't sit there and hold a keyring like that unless you were really studying it and really looking at it. And the skin in the hand, this is my hand by the way, the skin is in great condition. My hands are covered in all sorts of cuts and scrapes from a life working on boats and in supermarkets. But it doesn't look perfect. I wouldn't consider myself a good hand model. Now, essentially, the hand is adding nothing to the image or the product. Now, the good photo shows the keyring in the packaging with a ruler placed next to it. This allows the customer to see the exact size of the product and the packaging. So when it comes to creating scale photos, try to find another object that has a set size, such as a pen, a phone, a battery, a coin, a car, a chair, or something else which relates to your product. So has this all made sense? If it has, just drop the word hands in the comments for me, so again I know that you are following along. Okay, Brandon, would the photo be better if only the finger was in the shot with the keyring hanging off it? That could be a good way to do it. Again, why would you sit there, like with your, if I hold my finger up so you guys can see it, why would you sit there with a keyring just hanging off your finger? It doesn't seem like something that you would actually do. So in terms of the keyring, a good example would actually be to put a key. So a car key, they all tend to be pretty much the same size. So actually put a car key next to the keyring. That would be a good scale picture as well. Not necessarily just having the ruler. But I put the ruler in because that's something that you can use with everything. Is that making sense? Everyone else has given me some hands. So Brandon, I hope that I have answered your question. Yes, you've given me a hands as well. Perfect. Okay, let's move on. Mistake number 3 is not following composition rules. So in the comments, let me know if you know any composition rules, or let me know what they are if you know of any. There are many different composition rules out there which can help you greatly in styling an image, which would be pleasing for anyone to look at. These rules are designed to help you decide where to place things in the image. Okay, Brandon, yes, thank you. Perfect. Isha, rule of thirds. Yes, that is a composition rule. Mike, you've given me the rule of thirds as well. Perfect. Yes, that is one of the composition rules, and it's actually the one we are about to start talking about. So here is the image. Here the image on the left side hasn't followed any composition rules. So the batteries seem to just be placed in a random line. But when we bring in the rule of thirds, which Issa and Mike, you have just mentioned, and we make a few changes, we end up with the image on the right. So this is the rule of thirds grid. What is the rule of thirds? It was invented in the 18th century by painter and engraver John Thomas Smith. When studying other painters' work, he noticed that unequal parts of an image would lead the attention easily from one part to another. Whilst equal parts, it was hard to tell which part was more important. He experimented with splitting his image up into different proportions, but found that thirds was the most pleasing. Now, a few centuries later, we have this grid, which you can see on over both photos here. And this grid is available as an overlay on most cameras, including your iPhone. Now, if you want help with finding that grid on your iPhone, let me know, and I have a video that I can send you a link to. So just drop the word grid in the comments for me if you want a link to how to set up this grid on your iPhone or your camera. Now, how do we actually use this grid? So it's really simple. What we do is we place the important parts of the image on the crosses, on the parts of the grid where those lines cross. So you can see in the good photo, the front two batteries, so these batteries here, are sitting on the bottom two crosses. And then the last battery in this battery train, as I call it, is actually sitting on that top left cross as well. And in the bad photo, nothing is actually lined up with the crosses. The crosses are actually to the side of all the batteries. So it's not really lined up with the rule of thirds at all. Sandy, you have said grid, perfect. After I finish doing this, I will reach out to you with the link for that, how to set up that grid. Now, does this all make sense? If it does, drop the word composition in the comments for me. So again, I know that you are following along. Okay. Cool. So let's just do a quick recap of everything that we've just gone over today. So don't use too many props is the first thing you need to remember. So I would stick to a maximum of 3 props per photo, less if you can. And remember that the props you use, always ask, how does this fit with my product? If it doesn't fit with the product, it doesn't fit in the photo, and get rid of it. Don't use it. The next thing is to find something other than hands to use as a scale. Okay, so something which fits with your product and has a standard size. And then you want to start using the rule of thirds that we've just talked about now. And then we can start learning about other composition rules that are out there. So your steps for right now is to go and find some props which actually fit with your product, your brand, and your story. And then start learning about the other composition rules. There's lots of them, and some of them will suit your product, your brand, and your story better than the rule of thirds. So if you do want to learn more of the composition rules, I actually have a mini course, The Principles of Composition. This is a 45-minute course split into 8 videos, short videos, which you can watch at any time. And it covers 6 composition rules. So in less than 1 hour, you can learn everything you need to start styling your photos like a boss. And as it's Black Friday this week, I'm going to do a massive 50% off sale on this Principles of Composition course. So that sale starts today and ends at midnight on Monday. And all you have to do is use the code BF21 at the checkout when you get that. So I'm going to drop the link in the comments for you now so that you can sign up for that and don't miss out on this amazing Black Friday offer which we have going on. If you do have any questions about the course, please just reach out either by dropping a comment here saying that you would like a bit more advice about this program or would like to chat about this course, or you can always just reach out to me by sending a DM. So that is it for today's session. Thank you everybody for being here. Now, before you sign off, I always ask this at the end of my workshops. What was your favourite part of the workshop? Just drop that in the comments for me. Let me know what your favourite part of the workshop was. Okay, Isha, thank you so much for this, Tracy. This has been incredibly helpful. I'm so happy to hear that, Isha. I really love to hear people say that I've actually helped them. That's amazing to hear. So thank you very much. And I will sign off now. If you do have any questions about that program, please reach out and let me know. Thank you and bye-bye.